What's up, everybody? It's Friday. It is March 17th. It's St. Patrick's Day, and you know what that means? It means Americans get to appropriate another culture again for an excuse to drink. Anyways, we're gonna just kind of sleuth around for like what this St. Patrick's business is about, because like hell, first of all, my name is Jan Erickson, and this is my channel, Mindful Monad. I am a Hyperian. I react to stuff that goes on in the world. Tonight is Friday Night Chat. This is where we sit back and relax. It just happens to fall on St. Patrick's Day, and I gotta say, I'm definitely not prepared to do like a full-on lesson about the ABCs and the ultimate truth of St. Patrick's Day, because I just don't know. And why don't I know? Because I grew up in a white community in America where we had a poor school, public school to go to, and they didn't teach us jack shit. Okay, let's face it. My idea of like what the hell is going on else there around the world, I have no idea. So anyways, before we get started, I would love to say hello to everybody. I lost the chat here for a second. Oh, there we go. And sorry for being a little late. I'm having such bad allergies. I'm in a situation where there's a lot of pollen in the air, and it's really affecting me, and it makes my nose sting, and I was literally just like waiting for the allergy pill to kick in so that I could function enough to get live. So anyways, yes. Today is St. Patrick's Day. Happy St. Patrick's Day. It doesn't mean much for me, honestly, because I'm not Irish, and I just want to dig around and find out what this is all about. This is impromptu. It's okay to be impromptu. And let me tell you why it's okay to be impromptu. Because we can easily get into why it's necessary to do some sleuthing, to do some research, to do some poking around, and investigating, sleuthing, that sort of thing. Let's put on our little Nancy Drew caps and get to work and find out what St. Patrick's Day is all about. Because at front, it's like, oh, St. Patrick drove out all the snakes out of Ireland. And I'm like, what snakes? I am actually a huge fanatic and proponent of reptiles, and I know snakes. I've had plenty, and I know for a fact there has never been and will never be a species of snakes in Ireland. There just does not exist such. Like, they don't even have so much as a grass snake. Like, Ireland just does not have snakes at all. So what is St. Patrick driving out? Why is he maliciously like slaughtering snakes? I don't know. And you know what's interesting? You know what's interesting about this idea of driving out snakes from Ireland? Simultaneously, there is a current tradition that goes on in Texas, and what they do is they have a rattlesnake roundup, and this is something that I feel very passionately about because I have experience with rattlesnakes. I have a pet rattlesnake, so I know rattlesnakes, and the pet that I have is not the first that I've had. I've had plenty, and I have become a very big advocate of rattlesnakes because there's a very big bias towards them. Rattlesnake, if you see one, instantly kill it. That's the kind of mentality I'm trying to battle against. So this is kind of interesting how this lines up with today. And here's the funny thing. It's like we're going to be jumping all around today because it's Friday Night Chat, right? We're just sitting back and relaxing and having some good time. I got some root beer here. I do have a Wexford. I know today people normally drink, what's it called? Why am I having a brain fart? Oh, Guinness. Duh. Guinness. Yeah, people normally have Guinness, but I don't mind Guinness, but I went with a Wexford today, so we'll be having this later on. When we get going, I guess. So far, I have root beer, but I have this Wexford, and this is a nitro drought beer. I really like nitro. If you're not familiar with nitro beers, nitro's just kind of like a different kind of carbonation than regular beer. So I am looking forward to that. But before we get into that, let's say hello to everybody and finish our root beer. Beer to beer. Beer to beer. I actually do love root beer. Hold on. So anyways, yeah, we're going to be doing a little sleuthing. Grab your little magnifying glass, get your journals, get your pencils, get your little, investigator hats on, and we're just going to dive around and find out what the fuck is this holiday. And I mean that sincerely and with heart, because like I said, I grew up in a situation where I have no idea what this is. I want to find out. We're going to poke around. Anyways. And back to the rattlesnake thing. So I have a pet rattlesnake, and simultaneously as St. Patrick's Day is going on, driving the snakes out of Ireland, that's not actually happening. Meanwhile, what's actually happening in Texas is a real snake driving, like an actual real literal snake driving, where Texans have this rattlesnake roundup tradition, and they go all around and they collect as many rattlesnakes as they can find out throughout the lands, and then they gather all these snakes around and they have a big festival. But this festival, in my eyes, is extremely morbid. It's morbid because this is a festival where they take these rattlesnakes and they just essentially torture them, and they cut their fangs out, and they'll sew their mouths shut so that other people can take a picture with a rattlesnake that's not going to bite them. One particular practice that disturbs me the most is they have children take their child hands and they have them dip it in rattlesnake blood and then print it on a wall. That's a common thing that happens. And also the methods in which these people gather the rattlesnakes, and this is in Texas, mind you, this is happening right now, this shit is happening. This stuff gets me so mad. Also the methods they do to gather rattlesnakes also harms the environment and other species of animals. A lot of the times rattlesnakes will burrow into the ground, and lots of different other animals will burrow into the ground too. But people won't actually take the time to decipher what hole is what. They don't give a shit. So what they'll do is they'll pour gasoline down in any old hole, and after a while, as they let the gasoline seep down there, they'll light it and just light the holes on fire, and it drives whatever's in there out. So not only are they hurting rattlesnakes, they're hurting small mammals, they're hurting tortoises, toads, things like that, just a ton of stuff. So it's just really interesting to me to be sitting here at this time. And I even thought about, when I was thinking about the rattlesnake roundup again, I'm it's that time of year. I'm how would I even incorporate this into any of my lives? And I feel like today is kind of an interesting way to introduce that. The concept of driving snakes out, and not just in a literal sense, in harming rattlesnakes. I mean, that's definitely a huge thing. But I just want to talk about what snakes represent as, in general. Because snakes, to me, I don't know, I think they're very favorable. I think they're very interesting creatures. they can definitely have times where they're dumb. I've kept a lot of species of snakes. They're very basic reptilian brains, but they're also something extremely majestic and just magnificent and worthy of respect. Definitely not worthy of being gathered up, bundled up, their teeth ripped out, and then their mouths sewn shut, and then have them slaughtered. Before they're slaughtered, they're like tortured and tormented, like people are poking at them with a stick and stuff. Then they're slaughtered, and then people just like revel in their like blood, like they play in their blood and like draw with it. It's weird. And yeah, okay, yeah, if any of you are members, there's the snake emoji I have. This is an actual emoji of my pet rattlesnake. So snakes out today. And fuck rattlesnake roundups, because that shit is just nasty and disturbing and just totally rubs me the wrong way. I know rattlesnakes seem like a really, I don't know, scary thing, but they're really important for the environment. They're severely misunderstood. If you encounter a rattlesnake, it doesn't want to encounter you. They're very introverted. They're just very much not happy with you like intruding on their personal time. So it's like they don't mean things personally. It's like, I'm here by myself. Why are you bothering me? And so people need to just, I don't know, I feel like respect that they are important for the environment, so on and so forth, keep things in balance. And it makes me really sad that people will make an entire festival and a celebration in rounding up and torturing these poor animals. And I know this is not the only situation. I know in many other countries there's also like weird things that they do. I can't remember what country where, I don't know who, but they like have this festival where they like torture dogs and then just like pretty much do the same things, torture them, slaughter them, like play with their blood, eat them, things like that. And that's what's going on at this festival too right now in Texas. It's the Sweetwater rattlesnake roundup. I've talked about this not several times on like my YouTube channel, but like a lot just in text. And I don't think I've ever really had an option to talk about it today, but it's just, I don't know, it makes me really upset, especially when I have a pet rattlesnake and she's sweet as pie and I just leave her alone and just give her food and water and change her little sandbox and she's just fine. So I don't know. The species of rattlesnake I have is also like the smallest. She's a full-grown sidewinder and she's only about 2 feet in length. Yeah, rattlesnake roundups are fucked. I'm sorry, they are. Let's turn off the thing. I think this is a good way. Okay, so here's what I'll do. Oh, let's take a break first and say hello to people, because I think I just got off on a tangent. So, today is St. Patrick's Day. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I guess. I don't know if you celebrate that or not. So, I'm going to now just kind of dive into this concept. You know, St. Patrick drove out the snakes out of Ireland. There was never any snakes, but you know who's driving snakes out right now? Texas. And we're going to go from the Texas Sweetwater situation to back to St. Patrick. We're going to do some sleuthing. I want to find out what it's about. At first I thought it was like a sort of some sort of way to talk about like Catholicism driving out paganism, but I don't think it was that. I mean, it's something somewhat, but like, I don't know. I just don't know. Let's find out, because I don't know. And if anyone has any suggestions in the chat, like, let me know, because I don't know. Anyways, we have, I think it's time to get glasses with more magnification. Oh my goodness, I'm old. I'm not old. I'm not old at all. My eyes feel old though. Jeff! Awesome. Imaginisa, thank you so much for gifting a membership, and I see that Jeff got that. I'm gonna write Imaginista on the board. Hello everybody. Now's the time to say hello. Hello, hello, hello. Say hello. Imaginista. Let's see. Ooh, I need a new marker. Here we go. I think I spelled that wrong. I don't know. Imagine. Damn it. Damn it all the hell. I think it's like that. And I believe it was Jeff who got the, let's see. Stoic Jeff. Welcome, Stoic Jeff. Stoic Jeff. Amazing. 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 By the way, I'm so happy today. Is Cassie here? Did I see Cassie? Who's here? I don't know. Hello. Is Cassie here? I haven't seen Cassie. Yes, Cassie's here. Hello. Cassie got me a birthday present that means a lot to me, because Cassie gave me the gift of nerding out on something that I love, which is Hassan Piker. And, you know, I'm a big fan of his work, and also he came out with a clothing line recently, and it's the Hasanabi Himbo fitness collection. So Himbo, instead of like bimbo, you know, like blonde bimbo, it's like himbo, like you're like a dude bimbo. So I got that today, and I'm just like so happy about this. I'm so excited to like work on my chest and my pecs in this shit. I'm so happy about this. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It actually goes really, this hoodie is also a present from Cassie, and it's like the same kind of like white print. So it's like Sailor Moon and then like Himbo. So I'm like, Sailor Himbo, Sailor Hassan. Oh my god, I need to draw that picture. Sailor Hassan. Sailor Hassan. Oh, thanks. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it is really earthy. Really an early birthday present. What is wrong with my words today? Did my brain just like take a tank? My goodness. Probably because I took my propanolol. I have like hypertension medicine, and sometimes it makes me like, when it first kicks in, it makes me feel slow. Anyways, what was I saying? Oh, my birthday. So my birthday is actually on the 23rd. The 23rd of March. And I am turning... What am I turning? Oh my god, I'm turning 35. What the hell is... What? I'm not 35. I am not 35. Are you kidding? I am like 22 at best. In my head. In my head. I am 22 at best. So... Anyways, what were we doing? Oh yeah, saying hello to people. So we got Cassie in here. who is a moderator. Thank you so much. Do we have any other moderators in the house? I think that's it so far. Yes. Hyperion Frequency, good to see you. Lee, yay. Good to see you, come here. And of course, Stoic Jeff, good to see you. Renaissance Fairy, thank you so much. Imaginista, thank you for everything. Rebecca Blanchard, good to see you. Did I say Mistress Angelica? I think so. Maria, good to see you. Roxy R. Fachita. Oh, and please remember to like the video if you haven't. If you have not, please like it. Likey. Likey. Oh, Hyperion Frequency bought a membership for John Clevo. Good for you, honey. All right, I'm gonna write Hyperion Frequency on the thing and John K. Where's my better marker? Oh, right here. Duh. Alright. Well, if I throw this out of the room, then I won't keep picking it up. Lee! With an exclamation point. Lee! And then John Clevo. Alright. J. John. Okay. Wait, no. There we go. Don't judge my whiteboard work. I'm trying to write it like big enough for you all to see, but like you really can't see it. I don't know, because of the depth. Just no, you can see that. You can see that. There's Imaginista up there. It's just out of the way. Oh my goodness. Gracious me. Let me move this shit down there. There we go. There we go. Perfecto. Where are we? Yay! Thank you for liking the video. Or I mean the live stream. It's Friday. It's kind of a day for celebration. I think next week my birthday actually falls on Thursday, but that's okay. I'm going to have my birthday stream on the 24th. So next Friday is my birthday stream. I am going to eat cake. Actually, no. I don't want cake. I want ice cream. And no, I don't want both. I just want the ice cream. What kind of ice cream? You know, I am a huge sucker for just plain old vanilla. I just love plain vanilla ice cream. If I want to step it up, I think maybe like caramel, however you pronounce it. That's pretty good. I know. I'm a huge ice cream connoisseur, and it doesn't like vegan ice cream. Vegan ice cream, honestly, in a lot of cases, I think like 8 out of 10 is way better than ice cream with dairy in it. I'm being sincere. I don't have any reason to not like the taste of vegan or to like the taste of vegan ice cream. I have no reason for that. Like, A lot of times I like it better out of like full fat milk ice cream. One thing I will say about non-vegan ice cream is sometimes I do want that particular flavor. It's kind of weird, but there's like egg whites involved with ice cream to give it that sort of eggy taste. More of a gelato situation. Like, that's really good. But there's like one vegan, I think it's Ben and Jerry's. I'm not sure if it's Ben and Jerry's. I can't remember what it is, but it's like a vegan chocolate ice cream with like brownie bits, and it's to die for. I think it's Ben and Jerry's. I'm not sure. It's like plant-based. I don't know. Sorry, Laura. Good to see you, Laura, first of all. But second of all, any sort of mint incorporated in ice cream, I think is a extreme sin. I want nothing to do with it. I think you all are messed up. Like, you don't understand real taste. It's like you don't have any taste buds left, so you need something minty. Like, if you eat mint ice cream, I just instantly don't trust you. Sorry. It's just, you are just objectively false. Mint ice cream is a no. And I do like chocolate mints. I like little chocolate mints. You know, a little minty chocolate, that's fine, but it's not my favorite. But like when you put mint in ice cream, you've lost all joy in your life. Let's do a poll. Is mint ice cream delicious? Let's do a poll. If you answer yes, I'm going to block all of you. All of you will be banned from my channel. Bleh. You Oh, it's neck and neck. I'm kidding, of course. I'm not actually gonna ban anybody. Just, like, you will disappoint me. Oh my god, this is the argument of the century. Is mint ice cream good? My vote is no. No. Just no. I'm sorry. No. I don't need... I want a dessert. I don't need an after dinner mint as my whole fucking dessert. Like, that's just the free little fucking mint that you get after your dinner. Like, nobody actually needs the mint. They just eat it because it's there and it's available. Like, when you go to fucking Olive Garden and they leave you the little Olive Garden-like mints, it's like, it's not even worth anything. It's just like the stupid shit that you get out of the end of your fucking cheap-ass Alfredo fucking pasta shits. Okay. Cassie brings up something good, though. I gotta say, the Girl Scout cookies, Thin Mints, just fucking put them in the freezer, take one out, that's good. But that's what I mean. Like, I don't mind the mint flavor if it's with chocolate in a little, like, tiny thing. But when you incorporate it with ice cream is already cold. Making it minty, you just as well eat fucking toothpaste ice cream, okay? Do you enjoy toothpaste flavored ice cream? I rest my case. It's fucking Listerine ice cream, okay? Listerine ice cream. Do you really like Listerine ice cream? I get very emotional over ice cream, okay? Just, it's too much. Don't even, Alberto. Alberto's like, I love Listerine. What do you mean, to drink? I don't think you're supposed to be drinking that. I think, like, people who are desperate for alcohol drink that. Luckily, we have a Wexford. I'm not ready to open this yet, though. Can you imagine drinking Listerine? I would vomit. I would instantly vomit. I would instantly vomit. Even if I gargle Listerine and I get a little bit in my throat, it's like, like instantly out into the sink, dry heaving. Just no mint. Even vegan mint ice cream. Vegan mint ice cream. Fuck it. Any mint ice cream. Throw it down the fucking toilet. Look at this. 50 per 3 cent say yes. Mint ice cream is good. You all just like Listerine. Y'all are drinking Listerine in here. Scope. Laura's like, well, you mean, is it Listerine or Scope? I mean, what are we talking about here? And flavors of ice cream. You like Listerine ice cream or do you like Scope flavored ice cream? I don't care for mint ice cream. Anyway, who else have I have not said hi to? Cassidy, our royal lurker. Peppermint Scope. Did I eat today? Did I not eat today? That's the better question. Let's see, I had eggs and toast for breakfast, and then I had a tuna sandwich. And I would like some, what do I want to make for dinner? I think I have some pesto sauce and some pasta. I think I'm going to do that. MC Heavyset, good to see you. Says glad... Oh, wait, no. Sorry, late having a shadow drink. I like that you spelled shadow like SHADOE. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Tomorrow is my birthday. Yeah! Happy birthday, MC Heavyset. Shout out to all the March babies in the house. Tyler, good to see you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mr. President. So let's spend just a couple more minutes saying hello to everybody. If you have not liked the live stream or shared it yet, please do so. And vote on the poll which is trying to decipher, is mint ice cream good or not? I vote not. Laura LaFleur, peppermint schnapps. No. Okay, story time. When I was in my early 20s and I lived with my boyfriend in downtown Salt Lake City, we had a D&D group, and this is when I was like new to drinking, so like I don't know exactly, because I was 21. I'm in my early 20s. I don't know what I like and don't like yet. I don't know what's like my limit and what's not my limit. So we went to me and my boyfriend went to our regular D&D group. We were having fun. And I was there with this kid. I mean, he lived in America, but he was from Germany? I can't remember. No. Maybe he was English, but he lived a long time in Germany. And then the US. Anyway, so he brought like peppermint schnapps, and nobody else in that group wanted to take shots of that peppermint schnapps except for that guy. And then I, being not experienced with drinking at all, I'm like, I want peppermint schnapps, because when I drank it, I was like, this is good. It's like, I don't know, it's like mouthwash. It's easy to go down. I got so messed up on that stupid peppermint schnapps, and it was so not worth it. It was like my first experience of being so drunk. You have the spins, and I'm just like, I'm tired. I want to lay down, but you lay down and you just feel like you're on a roller coaster ride, and I'm like, what the fuck is happening? I don't even know. Like, it just went from just harfing to to wondering, to lamenting, to regretting, to harfing, to just like, it was just so not worth it in the end. So now when I think of not just peppermint schnapps, any kind of schnapps, peach schnapps, anything, any sort of schnapps, gross, stay away. Too many. The more I talk about how fucking mint is gross, the more y'all like it. What is this? This is this is mutiny. Ugh. Anyways, I'm gonna go grab another root beer. Hold on, I'll be back. Mint gelato. No, not allowed. What is this 70%? Yes. This is incorrect. I demand a recount. I demand a recount. This is fraud. This is fraud. I demand a recount. I demand a recount. I demand a recount. Fraud. Voter fraud. I saw some ballots dumped out by the dumpster just now when I got in a root beer. I know what you're all up to. Hey, let me teach you more about the rattlesnake roundup. Okay, so let's get on. Let's go on get Sweetwater. Oh, let's look up YouTube videos. Sweetwater. Hey, there's me. Let's Inception watch my own video. Rattlesnake roundup. Okay, so this might be last year. I'm gonna warn you that this is a little disturbing. But okay, so here's the thing. When it comes to being inspired to go vegan, and you can go vegan in ways that doesn't necessarily mean diet. That's definitely a big major point, but you could go vegan in like so many different ways. But anyways, sometimes being inspired to be as vegan as possible, and of course I reference Morg's philosophy on transitional veganism. Right here I have the book, where it's like, if you can't be 100%, like, pretty much, like, do the best you can, because that's better than nothing. And so that's where I don't like to get into arguments of picking and choosing, like, oh, well, you should be all or nothing. It's like, let's just do the best we can and keep building on that and doing more and more and more. We gotta start somewhere. So sometimes being inspired to go vegan takes a certain aspect for you to get into it. Like, not every video about animal cruelty is gonna hit everybody the same thing or the same way. Does that make sense? Like, not every single video that you find compelling or a piece of material that you find compelling is compelling to somebody else. And, you could meet other vegans and things like that, and they're like, well, my reasonings is different from yours and that. So anyways, there's something about reptiles and reptile keeping and the way humans interact with reptile wildlife. That's where my passion is, and it's not because I'm picking and choosing. It's because that's just my starting path, if that makes sense. It's like sometimes you have to start at ground zero, and ground zero isn't the same for everybody. So it's best to just listen to that. And so my ground zero for compassion towards animals is in reptiles. There's a plethora of reptiles and species of snakes in the pet trade that are kept in extremely poor conditions, and a lot of it is because of just lack of information about them, lack of education. Because a lot of the times when people think caring for animals, they think about cats and dogs and cows and pigs, and that's good. That's amazing. Like, people should do that. That's, but like, I'm approaching it from this angle, and I know There's a lot of exotic reptiles being sold at Petco, PetSmart, like mom and pop pet shops, like these turtles, lizards, snakes, things that need a special set of care instructions that people don't get. And these poor reptiles are just kept in tiny little containers, you know, like a frog in a mayonnaise jar with a stick and a leaf. And it just, they get really swept under the rug. And they get demonized. Rattlesnakes, to me, are a very beautiful, vital part of our environment. So I want to bring this back, because I'm like, for all reptiles, but like I'm gonna drop back down to this Sweetwater, Texas situation. Sweetwater, Texas does this rattlesnake roundup tradition, and it's really terrible. So we're gonna get into some of this, and it, you know, this can get disturbing. This disturbs me. So if you're not feeling that, you know, you can step out. I won't blame you. Go grab another beer, watch something else. Like, I don't want to bum you out. But this is where I'm really passionate about the treatment of animals. And like I said, this is my ground zero. It's not to say, like, I'm ignoring everything else. And, yeah. So let's... Oh, can I hear... Oh my god, can you hear my can of root beer? Can you hear that? Oh shit, I spilled. It's kind of comforting. Sounds like rain. I really need to start my ASMR channel. Like, it's like I really need to just do it. Like, it's ridiculous why I don't. Anyways, we're gonna watch this a little bit about rattlesnake roundups.
One of the most protected events in Texas. Those who have made videos against the rattlesnake roundup are not allowed to attend the event. In fact, if you try and get in, you'll be threatened with...
So this guy is explaining, like, this is the rattlesnake roundup. This is what people do. And trust me, they've already had people speak up against this. And if you're even somewhat suspected of, like, being against this rattlesnake roundup, like, and try to get in, like, they will give you fucking hell, boy. They will give you hell for interrupting their exploitation and slaughtering of innocent animals. Yeah, that's why I want to give people the warning and the opportunity to get out. They're not just catching these rattlesnakes and killing them. They're, in a lot of cases, torturing them. And it's so sad, because a lot of people are conditioned to think, well, reptiles, like, they don't feel or think. Like, who gives a shit? And it's like... It's so sad, because I have a lot of experience with rattlesnakes, keeping them personally, and they deserve so much respect. They just want to be left alone. They just want to eat and sit in the sun and avoid the hawks and just... like, they are just simple creatures, and they deserve the most tremendous amount of respect. And them being equipped with things like venom and venomous fangs, like, this is for them to just hunt. And their venom is, honestly, it's not meant to inject into predators. Really, it's meant as a digestive aid. There's enzymes in it that when they bite their prey, the venom helps break the material down so they can digest it. So it's like they don't want to bite you. Rattlesnakes... 9 out of 10 times don't want to bite you. They do it as a last resort. And even then, a lot of the times out of that bite, it's a dry bite. It's not actually injecting venom, because they don't want to bother with you. They don't want to be bothered.
Rattlesnake Roundup is one of the most protected events in Texas.
Look at that guy to kick him. That's
Those who have
sad.
made videos against the Rattlesnake Roundup are not allowed to attend the event. In fact, if you try and get in, you'll be threatened with arrest for criminal trespass. Nevertheless, the Rattlesnake Roundup needs to be talked about.
Yeah.
Now, people might ask, why does this affect me? Well, not only is it cruel and inhumane
Yes!
that animals are tortured and killed, but the Rattlesnake Roundup actually makes people have more encounters with snakes. And I'm going to tell you how.
I'm already like kind of getting upset. I'm like, there is the 2 seconds of footage of that asshole like kicking snakes over with his fucking cowboy boot, and I'm like, man, you don't need to do that. And then I'm seeing them, a bunch of rattlesnakes kept in this tiny room, and these rattlesnakes are piled on top of each other, trying to fucking escape and hide away from any threats. It's so sad. And Laura, I don't blame you. Go ahead and get out, girl. I mean, I want to talk about this, but I want to give you all the respect. Like, if you want to get out, it's okay. Like, it's okay to be like, tipping your hat, like, nah, this ain't for me. Like, it's okay. So, anyways. Yeah, Maria's right. They induce the threat to be bitten and bad reaction with them. It's because of that. Okay, so like if you're poking at something in the face and you're just like, it's like, gee, I'm gonna bite. Also, we're gonna end this mint poll. You all have betrayed me, by the way. Psst, tisk tisk. Anyways. For the 30% who said no to mint, you are my kin. You know what's so sad is I watch this and I think about my actual pet rattlesnake in the next room who's just like comfy and cozy, like snuggled into her little warm sand. You know, like I just, turned off her sun lamp, so like the sand is warm and she's just like kind of just snuggling into it and just has nothing to worry about. Like, I feel sad. Like, I think of my little rattlesnake, like, when I watch this. And again, she's a sidewinder rattlesnake. Sidewinders are, like, the smallest species of rattlesnake. They only get about, like, 2 to 3 feet. So they're, like, small snakes. I have kept other rattlesnake species. Had an albino diamondback. I've had Norpax, northern Pacific Coast rattlesnake species. The diamondback rattlesnakes they get big. They get fucking big. They get like fucking 7 feet long, like this thick around, and when they fucking rattle and hiss at you, it's like a fucking like... It's like a dragon. You're just like, excuse me, I didn't realize my presence offended you. I'm sorry. Like, you feel the need to apologize to it immediately. Anyways. This is only like 7 minutes, so we'll get on with it. This might be a little bit of a long stream too, so if at any point you're like, I'm tired, I'm dodging out, I don't blame you. Like, just get going. I'm gonna have some fun here. I don't care if it's like me and 2 other people. Like, I don't care. Anyways, so back to the dark truth of a real driving out of snakes, like an actual literal term.
For those of you who don't know me, my name is Max, and I work with a company and I relocate about 2,000 rattlesnakes a year. First of all, we have to address how the Rattlesnake Roundup claims they help the public. Well, they claim to do 3 things. They claim to extract venom, to sell it off and make anti-venom. They claim to do population control, and then they claim to do education.
So these rattlesnake roundups, they claim to harness the and milk the venom of the rattlesnakes for medical research, and then they claim to do population control, and then thirdly they claim to do education. I'm going to take a shot in the dark with a bit of like confidence that this man's gonna talk about why all three of those reasons is bullshit. And I can tell you from straight up, because I've had people ask me this before, because I have a pet rattlesnake. I've had more in the past, and people ask me, "Do you milk the venom?" And I say no. And I know I have known of people who do that, and it's all going out and hunting them down in mass quantities. And as for education, they're definitely gonna have that sail over people's heads. Definitely. Lee, did you just do the timeout symbol? Don't do that. Don't scare me. Honey, don't scare me. Don't scare me like that. If this is copyrighted, I'm going to be really sad. Maybe it's me. You all have to realize I also still have my shitty internet connection. My internet does have a tendency to cut out because I live in such a rural place. So, you know, if it happens due to my net cutting out, another stream will automatically restart and you just look for the notification. If it's my internet's or Jan's, I know. I'm so sorry. I hope we're not getting blocked for this video because this is important. Like, I'll be really sad. Yeah. Now I'm afraid. You know what's so funny? I've been like reviewing a ton of like content for like ever since that stupid Bible cartoon incident, I've been like paranoid. I'm like, oh, now I can't watch anything. Oh my god, if I watch something, they're gonna shut me down. Ah, they're gonna shut us down. So it's like really funny. Like now any piece of material I watch, because I've watched some really important videos before and haven't had any problem at all. And to my surprise, Wednesday's live stream actually was fully monetized. They didn't demonetize me a bit. And I was talking about the whole East Palestine derailment and everything. That was a pretty serious subject. And the YouTube video I watched was a serious YouTube video, but like, I don't know. I feel like it's one of those things when there's YouTubers that do really good investigative work into problems. I feel like it's this sort of a little bit of an unspoken rule, like YouTube creators, content creators, like they don't report other content creators for reacting or covering their content. That's usually something you only do if you're a dick. We'll see. Is this a dick?
In actuality, none of these things are true. So let's go through each of the things and go through the myth.
Yes!
And let's go through the truth.
So what happens with the venom?
I know we're trying to use it with ProFab and other stuff too as well for the anti-venom.
About 90% of it is used to make the anti-venom.
It's used
For
in the
what?
anti-venom and research.
If
For
you go
what?
to the page for the Sweetwater Rattlesnake Roundup and go to the Texas Parks and Wildlife document, you will see in the document that none of the venom is actually used. There's two companies that make anti-venom in North America, and that's going to be BTG International, who makes CroFab, the only FDA-approved anti-venom on the market, and then there's Red Rock Biologics, and they make the pet vaccine. The truth is,
There really is very little companies, as he said, there's only two that actually like do research for anti-venom. So just so you know, don't fuck with rattlesnakes. If you get bit by a rattlesnake, depending on what it is, if it's something big enough, let's say a diamondback or whatever, if you're out in Nevada, something like that, and you get bit by a rattlesnake out there, it's about $10,000 per vial, give or take. And a lot of the times, it's not a matter of just getting one vial of anti-venom into you to counter the venom. It sometimes takes several. So I think there was somebody who what was like the rattlesnake medical bill? Yeah. It's something like this. Which totally highlights a very crappy thing in the American healthcare, because if you get bit by a random snake, you are out fucking over $150,000. This is a very real thing. Getting bit by a rattlesnake is a lot of money, and that's why when I have these pet rattlesnakes, and mind you, I used to have a bunch more, but I've gotten a lot out of the hobby of keeping venomous snakes. I only have one now because she's the personal pet. Never, ever in my life, because people ask me all the time, like, what do you do with your rattlesnakes? Do you hold it and dance with it? It's like, no, I leave it alone. I leave my pet rattlesnake alone. And I try to tell them that it's the same concept of having fish in a fish tank. People are like, oh, you have a rattlesnake, but you can't touch it. So what fun is that? It's like, you have a fucking fish in a fish tank. You can't fucking touch that. Like, what's the point of that? Like, having a creature in a healthy habitat and just letting it chill and be and keeping it well fed, like, that's what keeps me happy. I don't need to touch it. I've never touched a rattlesnake in my life, and I've kept over 6 species of that for sure. There's a lot of species of rattlesnake. Anyways, so moving along. And hello, Morg. Thank you for joining. We are covering, because it's St. Patrick's Day, and, St. Patrick drives out the snakes. But first, we're talking about a real issue that's happening right now in Sweetwater, Texas. They have an annual tradition festival where they gather as much rattlesnakes as they can, and they literally slaughter them. And they try to do it in the name of science, in the name of education, but it's all fraud. So these are real people driving out real snakes right now.
Venom labs across the country with captive kept snakes in strict laboratory conditions, and that's where we get all of the venom that we use for the medicine. The Nolan County Coliseum is not a sterile environment, it's not safe. So as a result, it's not used. Organizers for the rattlesnake roundup believe that if they didn't round up and kill these snakes, that the population would grow so much that people would be overrun.
That's bullshit.
What would happen if the rattlesnake roundup stopped?
We would be overwhelmed in Sweetwater with this entire area with rattlesnakes.
I think the population would explode.
No, this is bullshit. Rattlesnakes have plenty of predators. They have hawks, they have birds, they have people. Let's say people. People are the fucking number one problem for rattlesnakes. Birds, and then like what? King snakes? King snakes are pretty docile. They don't have any venom in them, but they're called king snakes because they eat other snakes, and king snakes tend to favor rattlesnakes. It's a true thing. It's a literal thing. But that's like pretty much it. If they stop the Sweetwater roundups, it's only going to improve the environment.
Just like if they took away deer hunting.
The people doing the education for the rattlesnake roundup say that females drop 20 to 30 babies on average.
18, 19 babies that, and Catholic snakes have that many.
Average female has 20 babies.
20 to 25 at a time in a litter.
They also
Oh my
say that half of them
God.
survive.
Even if half of those live,
Really more than half of any species.
And then finally, they say the ratio from females to males is 5, 6, 7 to 1.
it's about 5 to 1 what we're seeing right now. Maybe even 7 or 8 to 1 females over males.
The average litter size of a female western diamondback rattlesnake is going to be about a dozen babies. Out of those babies,
Yep.
most of them die. One of
Yep.
the main reasons for that is the fact that they can't find food.
Yep.
And one of two things happen. Either they starve because they can't make it through the winter because they don't get those fat reserves.
And baby rattlesnakes typically eat tiny little lizards. Tiny little baby lizards. In fact, I remember in my first adventure, I had a wild kept rattlesnake, and it would not eat mice. And I had to go out into the wilderness and catch the stupid little lizards out there. And I had to take the lizard, and I had to take the dead mouse, and I had to like rub the lizard on the mouse so that the little mouse got the scent, and that the stupid rattlesnake could get the idea that it should eat the mouse. I can't tell you how fucking ridiculous I felt when I was like, I'm taking an animal and rubbing against a dead animal just so that another animal eats. I don't know.
Food they eat too late in the year, it's ectothermic. The food rots inside of them. The reason in nature for an animal to have a lot of babies is that so some might make it to adulthood. It's accounting on a high mortality.
Dude, when you keep reptiles, because reptiles have to eat other animals. I'm sorry, they have to eat other animals. You do some weird shit to get reptiles to eat. You really do. Like, I'll never forget how horrified I was once when I had a lizard and, like, the mouse was too big. And it was a frozen mouse. Like, it was already dead when I bought it. You know, it was a feeder mouse. But, like, I had to cut it up. And I've never been the same since.
Finally, the female to male ratio is going to be closer to 40-60. It's not going to be 7 to 1. That's insane. Not only do they perpetuate that there are so many more rattlesnakes that they claim to actually control the population. But with the predator-prey relationship, if you take out a ton of predators out of the habitat, then you get a huge spike in prey population. That means rodents.
Yeah, the rat explosion. Wow. It's more of a myth.
Not only are they huge disease carriers, but they have a huge economic impact on people. Now,
Funny when you round up all the rattlesnakes in town that suddenly you have an explosion of rat infestations.
how they make the problem worse is through the use of gasoline. Now, while they claim they might use the fumes,
Only fuming. Okay. You're only using fumes. If you actually spray gasoline on the snake, it would potentially kill the snake.
Well, they
Yeah,
don't
whatever.
use gas. They use the fumes from the gas. They're not just throwing gas in
Yes,
there.
they are.
Gas fumes.
Gas fumes?
Yeah, so we don't use liquid gas.
on the Texas Parks and Wildlife document, it estimates that the snake hunters on average use a cup of gasoline per den. Even though they use gasoline, there's no way to get all the snakes.
You'll never be able to pull all of them out of the no matter what you do.
There's tons of rodent mittens and crevices, and that creates air pockets and it lets the snakes escape. But what does happen is a communal part of the den becomes uninhabitable. They will never use that den again. And where does that send the snakes that they don't get? Closer to residential populations and under people's
Yep.
homes, making
Yep.
it a huge problem for people. Finally, the hosts of the
So they're trying to say, oh, we're only using gas fumes to put into the holes and dens of these animals and light it up and take them out. They're just ruining the environment. Because like he said, once you put gasoline fumes into a den of an animal like this, they cannot go back and inhabit it. It's ruined. It's done. Nothing else. And it's not just rattlesnakes that inhabit these dens. It's like turtles, it's rodents, it's like anything else that needs to be a part of the environment.
Rattlesnake Roundup claimed to educate the public. Their definition of education and mine are completely different. Their version of education involves
Oh my god. What? Yeah. This guy's just sitting there, like, taking this balloon and just shoving it in this snake's face and being like, here, bite it, bite it, bite it. This poor snake is like, why am I here?
Animal with a balloon to show how aggressive it is, while the animal is just trying to get away. That's not even the worst of it. They decapitate the snake and they hang it up while it's still moving to skin it. After that, they dip their hands in blood and put handprints on the wall.
Yep.
They'll push this ritual and tradition on
This is
anyone,
real.
even small children.
Taking little kids, having them dip their hands in the blood of snakes that are skinned alive, and then pressing their bloody handprints onto a fucking wall. Like, I just can't even fucking make this shit up. This is weird, and this totally desensitizes children to, like, not give a shit about animals.
We're here for y'all is education.
Okay.
Education.
But other than every other piece of misinformation that you've already heard, here's some of the other things that you'll hear at the Rattlesnake Roundup.
I think there's about 12 different hunters.
Yeah, 12 is a lie. It's hundreds.
They also believe that rattlesnakes only eat every 3 months.
No.
In actuality, it's about every 2
Yes! No. Rattlesnakes do not eat every 3 months. They eat pretty much as they can, roughly about like every other week. I know this because I feed them.
Snake did eat about every other month, every 3 months maybe.
They also believe that snake bite kits and sucking out the venom help. When
No. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm going to tell this to you plain as day. Plain as day. Plain as day. Do not waste your money on a rattlesnake bite kit. Don't do it. Don't fall for that stupid shit where it's like, well, you need somebody to suck the venom out. No, don't do that. It makes no fucking sense. Don't tourniquet your limb if you got bit on the leg. Don't do that. What you do is you get your ass to a hospital as fast as fucking possible. Everything else that they put out there that you do for rattlesnake bite is pure myth, pure garbage, and you're just gonna make it worse for yourself. If you get bit, you get to a hospital. Don't buy any of those stupid ass rattlesnake bite kits. They are worthless. Worthless.
actually you're isolating it and sucking the venom back down twice the tissue damage.
Like a Sawyer extractor helps some because it draws the venom out. Now, a lot of people don't think we do and don't think we know what we're talking about. Some of us care about these snakes.
So the ones on bottom can't get oxygen to breathe. You don't have oxygen, you die.
Oh,
So
stop
now that
it.
these things are true, why do they actually do it? You know it. Money.
I told them
Money.
merchandise, anything you sell, I want a percentage.
Yeah.
And they didn't like that.
The Roundup is a monopoly, which is why it's so heavily protected. Talking with the different hunters in the JCs, you almost get a scripted answer on any of the questions that you ask. When presented with the fact that gasoline was actually harmful to the environment, as if they didn't know already, they said they didn't want to stop gassing because they wouldn't get as many snakes and not as many people would come out and buy these novelty items. So don't listen to any of these scripted answers. They're only out to make money. Don't go buy things. Don't attend the Roundup.
No.
And don't let anybody on your property to go around gassing.
No.
It's only going to cause a lot more problems
Yep.
for you. I know. I've seen it. So their only reason to torture and kill these animals is to make money. So don't support the Roundup, but don't listen to gimmicks and don't listen to lies. It's about time we change the image of the Western Diamondback rattlesnake.
The Western Diamondback rattlesnake is, I don't know, it's a very beautiful creature. It makes me really sad.
Hello, this is RV Vagabond Jerry, and I am at the world's largest rattlesnake roundup event, which is in the town of Sweetwater, Texas, which is in the northwest section of Texas. This is an event they have just once a year, and there is a huge
That is that is entirely too many rattlesnakes put into a situation that they don't want to be. They're literally piling up on top of each other to escape from the situation. Like, they don't want to be there. And now you're just stepping on them. Great. No! Oh my god, fucking no. No! Oh my god.
Interesting. This is an ex-rattlesnake.
Oh my fuck.
The largest t-shirt as well.
It's so funny, all these animals
This
are
is the second
dead.
building. Nice selection of switchblades.
Switchblades.
Well, let's see what's on the menu for lunch.
Cowboy
Crawfish boil.
nachos and crawfish
Cowboy
boil.
nachos. Never heard of that.
I think I've had enough. Anyways. So if you want to know about a real driving out of snakes that's happening, that's what's happening. That, something that really, like, hits hard for me, because, like I said, I have a pet rattlesnake. She's in the other room. She's nice and safe and comfy and cozy, and I can't imagine, like, taking her and, like, torturing her and, like, stressing her out and then, like, chopping off her head and then skinning her and then taking her blood and then putting it on my hands and then putting handprints on the wall. That's the Sweetwater fucking Texas rattlesnake roundup for you. These people are literally bathing in the blood of animals, like, for fun. For fun! It's gross. It's gross. Rattlesnakes are an important part of the environment. They are very good at keeping down rodent population. They're if you get rid of them, it's going to be really bad. I don't know. But just so you know, in Ireland, there's no snakes. There's no actual snakes in Ireland. There never has been. The whole, like, area of Ireland, like, is it's just like where it's at, its geological location, they just don't have snakes at all. So what the hell is the Irish St. Patrick trying to drive out? Who the fuck is St. Patrick? I have no fucking idea. Because to me, snakes, they're very misunderstood, first of all. Symbolically, they are something very beautiful. They represent, knowledge, evolution. Mr. Sangelica says pagans. No, they weren't driving out the pagans. That's a good direction to go. Like, that's a very, like, smart way to think about it, but it's not the pagans. I'm just gonna click on a bunch of shit. Like, we're just gonna figure this out, because honestly, I don't know. And I do have this article who was shared to me by Susan. Let's see. Let's read this real fast. So, the story of St. Patrick's Day is really a story about stories themselves, how they change and evolve, and how one story or figure can become something different for different generations and eras. Today we mark St. Patrick's Day as a celebration of Irish history and heritage, and yes, for a lot of folks that just means an excuse to have a drink or two. Please go with a Guinness and not disgusting green beer. I don't know. I think Wexfords are pretty good. Okay, so I have a Wexford here. A Wexford is Irish style nitro drought, and it's pretty fucking delicious. So, and wear a fun hat. But the real history of St. Patrick and evolution of the holiday is a fascinating tale. What is this? going on my phone? Who keeps blowing on my phone? Oh no. Oh no. It's me getting berated by Morg asking what thumbnail and what title. Like, stop it! Leave me alone! Lovingly, of course. Peace and love. The story of St. Patrick is one of my... the story of St. Patrick is one of myths layered on myths. The best known story of St. Patrick is that he became the patron saint of the Emerald Isle because he drove all the snakes away from Ireland, in quotations. That's a curious claim, given that there were never snakes in Ireland, or at least none in fossil record. Literally, there's never been snakes in Ireland. So what gives? The common belief is that this history, the snakes represent pagans or druid, or that Patrick banished from the island. Read Jan. Given that he is credited as a missionary who brought Christianity to Ireland. There's something about Irish Catholics that are just entirely too hardcore. Anyways, I've been to an Irish Catholic church. Like, just once. And I'm just like, wow. This is... Wow. Am I about to get beat? What's going on? But to beat the devil out me. Anyways. That's the thing about folklore and history. It's very hard to tell them apart. When we're talking about a man who may or may not have lived over 1,500 years ago, from what we know, the real St. Patrick was born in Wales or Britain, meaning he wasn't Irish. Around 390 Common Era. This was the time when Rome was in control of Britain. But their power... I'm sorry, I had to, like... Because I'm like, Common Era... Common Era is something people aren't used to, because people are used to thinking in things of, like, before Christ or after Christ. Common Era. So it was after Christ. Common Era is... Yeah, so Common Era is the after Christ notation, and then before Common Era is before. That is the more proper way to return to time, because basing things on before or after Christ is strictly Christian and just doesn't fucking, like, mean a damn thing. So I prefer the terms Common Era before Common Era. So this was the time when Rome was in control of Britain, but their power was waning and would soon collapse entirely. His name was Maewyn, and he was, according to his autobiographical confession from later in life, captured in an Irish raid as a teen and spent 6 years enslaved in Ireland before escaping and becoming a man of cloth. Because he knew the Irish language and customs from his time there, Patrick returned to Ireland as a missionary and bishop to spread Christianity, and that's when, that's what he remembered. Oh my God, why can't I see this? And that's what he's remembered for to this day. But there is a lot of apocryphal. What is that word? What is this word? What is this word I am looking at? Of a story or statement of doubtful authenticity, although widely circulated as being true. So it's doubtful, but it's widely circulated as being true.
Apocryphal.
Apocryphal. Apocryphal means doubtful authenticity, although widely circulated to be true. Apocryphal. And we've learned a new vocabulary word. Thank you so much. So anyways, because he knew the Irish language and customs from his time there, Patrick returned to Ireland as a missionary and bishop to spread Christianity. And that's what he's remembered for to this day. But there is a lot of apocryphal folklore about him, like his putting shamrocks in pints of ale, and a snake/pagan thing, and other various stories of him burning druid books, which would never have happened because druids didn't have books. Or chasing or converting pagans away. So, but again, there's no actual evidence for any of this, mainly because our records of all European history of this era are extremely sketchy, given the whole Rome collapsing and precipitating the Dark Ages stuff going on in the 5th century. Remember, the Dark Ages in Europe aren't dark because of their events, but because it's a period we lack primary sources for. We have his own writings, and that's pretty much it. The rest is just fun stories like the snake thing, which didn't show up in any records until centuries later when the church was still trying to deal with pagans. Interesting. So that's a bit of a yes and no thing. It's like, no, it wasn't about pagans. However, the church made it about pagans later on. In fact, there's evidence that Patrick wasn't the first Christian in Ireland, and more importantly, he didn't eliminate paganism, like, at all. Yes, Christianity slowly became the dominant religion in Ireland, but that was a matter of slow conversion, not conquest, and driving druids away. But pagan myths, beliefs, and customs didn't go away. They were simply absorbed into the Christian structure and local lore. Gods became fairies like the Tuatha De Danann, or heroes like Fionn MacCumhail. I'm not pronouncing that right. Anyways, or even saints like Brigid. Paganism in Ireland still exists. Another popular story of St. Patrick is that he used the shamrock, aka the three-leaf clover, to explain the concept of the Trinity to the Irish. But again, in the records attributed to him, there's no mention of that, and the first mention of the shamrock and the first mention of the shamrock in conjunction with Patrick is from 1517, over 1,000 years after his supposed death, around 460. Patrick is just one of those figures who has been written about in so many ways and by so many people that his history is almost impossible to truly know. What we do know is that he was seen as the patron saint of Ireland. And his feast day was celebrated on March 17th. But it was a sedated celebration marked by contemplation and prayer. Maybe a ball here or there. Like so many cultural touchstones, St. Patrick's Day didn't really become a thing until I reached America. Dude, we just, whatever it is you believe, we don't care. We will fucking celebrate that bitch. So, to understand why we have St. Patrick's Day, it's more important to understand the history of Irish, what is this word? What is that word? What is this word?
Diaspora.
Diaspora? The dispersion or spread of a people from their original homeland. Oh.
Diaspora.
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 Diaspora. To understand why we have St. Patrick's Day, it's more important to understand the history of the Irish diaspora in America than perhaps anything else. Huge numbers of Irish immigrants came to America in the 19th century, fleeing famine and oppression under English rule. But even in the U.S., they faced discrimination and prejudice. So St. Patrick's Day became a vehicle to express pride in Irish heritage, especially in cities with large Irish populations. There's so much more to every story than what we assume. And even beneath that, there are layers and mysteries that never end. When we look at a holiday or a piece of folklore or a saint, we're only ever getting, shall we say, one leaf of a clover that's part of an entire organism with roots running deeper than you ever might imagine. Yes, I have lots of clover growing in my lawn right now. That's very hard to weed out. Why do you ask? We didn't ask about the clover in your yard, dude. You literally could have not said that sentence. Nobody would have given a shit. Anyways, so when you raise a pint today, take some time to think about the history that brought you to that moment, because that's the real luck. Because we don't know the history. We just drink Wexford. Here we go with Wexford, a beer and some beer cheese. Diaspora. I love learning words. Cassie, you just said that. I freaking love that we're learning. Yeah, what? Like, I don't know what the fuck this is. Diaspora? What the fuck? Diaspora? Like I'm ever using that anywhere.
Diaspora.
Diaspora. The dispersion or spread of a people from their original homeland. The diaspora of boat people from Asia. A secular interpretation of Jewish history in antiquity and during the diaspora. The diaspora. Diaspora. All right. So that article was shared by Susan. Susan, thank you so much. I think I'm ready for my beer. Let me take a pee break. And then let's just kind of explore some of these YouTube videos and go until we get kicked off. I'm so afraid to explore videos. It's like, you're gonna fucking like shut my stream down. I hate that they can do that. All right. Drunk Jet. No, this is okay. This is a Wexford. It's a Irish style cream ale. It's a nitro drought and it's only 5%. So this literally is like having a couple of chorus cans. There's no getting drunk off of this. But thank you. This is just a treat. Anyways, let me pee. I need to pee. God damn, I just pinched my finger on my fucking headphones. Ow! Dude, that fucking hurt. God damn. God damn, that hurt. Son of a bitch. Dude, that was such a hard pinch. Ooh, it's stinging. I feel like half of these, the real St. Patrick's Day videos will be like an insertion of like Irish Christianity. Where is my thing? Hold on. I'm lost without my thing. Okay, I found it. God, that fucking hurt. I have like a little tiny bruise now. Like, fucking, yeah, right there. This. Like, little bruise right there. Like, the tiny. Don't feel bad for me. I'm fine. That really pinched, though. It's like, ow. Meow. Owie! I know. Owie! Alright, shall we crack the Wexfords? Let's do it. Wexfords. Very delicious. Not a Guinness, but very Irish. Also, they make a beer cheese, like an actual cheese infused with their beer. It's so delicious. That's the nitro sound. Nitro carbonation is not the same as regular carbonation. Like, yeah, this is a nitro beer. It's better. I like nitro beers because it's less, like, hard on the stomach. Like, the bubbles are tinier, if that makes sense. It doesn't have that crackle like a soda does. Anyways, what is this? I don't want to watch 41 minutes of the real St. Patrick. Dude, you're standing at a podium with a fucking suit on. I can tell this is churchy. Nope, denied. This is 3 minutes and 18 seconds. Let's try.
St. Patrick's Day. On March 17th, individuals around the globe gather to celebrate this Christian missionary by wearing green and drinking a lot. But why do we celebrate St. Patrick? Well, other than helping to convert the entire country of Ireland to Christianity, turns out our patron saint has some rather mythic exploits on his resume. Apparently, St. Patty used the shamrock to help teach laymen the concept of the Holy
You can't
Trinity,
see the screen.
And he preached so long that...
Duh. I'm sorry. Alright, I got it! I got it! I got it! I got it! Here we go.
St. Patrick's Day. On March 17th, individuals around the globe gather to celebrate this Christian missionary by wearing green and drinking a lot. But why do we celebrate St. Patrick? Well, other than helping to convert the entire country of Ireland to Christianity, turns out our patron saint has some rather mythic exploits on his resume. Apparently, St. Patty used the shamrock to help teach laymen the concept of the Holy Trinity, and he would preach so long that his staff would become rooted in one place. But hands down, my favorite myth is that St. Patrick drove all of the snakes out of Ireland.
Why is that your
How badass
favorite?
do you have to be to take on every serpent in the country?
Enough is enough! I have had it with these snakes on this
Island.
However, scholars now
Yes!
believe there may
I've had enough of these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking island! That's the movie I want to see. I want to see the action-packed film starring Samuel L. Jackson playing St. Patrick's and fucking destroying the snakes off of the island. That's what I want to see. That's what the people want. Vote now.
be more to this legend than we originally thought. First thing you have to know about Ireland is that there are no snakes. None. And there never were. While there are 3 species of snake commonly found in Britain, there's zero evidence that any of them ever found their way to Ireland. The country's natural landing was made inaccessible by melting glaciers, and unfortunately, that means our little serpentine friends never made it across. But where does the legend...
Wait, I wanted to see the little snake. Oh, look at this guy. Snake. He's wearing a hat and he's sad. This one. Oh! Sad snake? Oh, this is sad. Why is that so surprisingly sad? It's a snake where he's like, hey, how are you? And there's another snake with sunglasses, but it turns out it's just him with sunglasses on his tail. Why? 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 Oh, badass. Lee says I have a king cobra tattoo. Badass. I love cobras. I love king cobras. King cobras are fucking scary as hell. Those are snakes that get so fucking big, so fucking long, they can stand up at face eye level to a grown-ass man and spit venom in his fucking face. Those things are scary as hell. They are massive. They are huge. There's also species of cobras that are really small. Like, I would love a monocle cobra because they're like really teeny tiny cobras. The problem is, okay, so get this. Here's how it's interesting, because different laws between different states, right? So in California, I can keep native species of snakes, even if they're venomous. Like rattlesnakes. But in the state of California, I can't keep venomous rattlesnakes that are not indigenous to this area. However, if I were to move up into Oregon, if I was to move up to Oregon, which is just a state above, it's the opposite there. In Oregon, you're not allowed to keep native species of snakes, but you can have as many fucking cobras as you want. What the fuck? And so, if I was to move to Oregon right now with my pet rattlesnake, it would be considered a felony to take it across the border. It's so fucking ridiculous.
But where does the legend come from if St. Patty had no actual snakes to banish?
Sure, Princess, you made it for...
Now, while there may not have been snakes on Ireland, there were a lot of druids and pagans. Now, the natives of this land practiced an ancient religion with their own sets of beliefs and traditions. However, these practices weren't seen as legitimate in the eyes of the Christian church, and St. Patrick was sent to convert as many Irish folk as possible. There are several myths, accounts, and legends that detail the conflicts between St. Patrick and Druid priests. Critics of St. Patrick and the Christian church believe that the saint was responsible for hundreds of pagan murders.
Master Skywalker, there are too many.
No!
Little evidence supports this theory of war. However, there are apparently confessions from Paddy himself detailing the burning of nearly 150 Druid books.
We must burn the books, Montag. All the books.
His conflict with the Druid.
You know, there's one movie that I wish I could watch on YouTube with you right now, and that's Fahrenheit, what is it? 411? Oh my god, why am I forgetting this? This is dumb. Why the fuck am I drawing a break? Fahrenheit 451 or 411, 451. I knew that was the first one I wanted to say. So, Fahrenheit 451 is actually one of my favorite fucking books. And even more, I love the fucking movie, the 1970s movie. I fucking wish, because I think it's still copyrighted. I wish we could watch Fahrenheit 451, because it's such a good fucking movie about knowledge and just books and this weird nationwide book burning and not being allowed to fucking learn things or expand your mind. It's such a trippy dystopian show. I love it. like firemen in this continuity, like they're not there to put out fires, they're actually there to start fires, as in like they're there to like burn books. It's so crazy. I wish I could watch it, but I think it's still protected, I think.
Religion is well documented and oft touted in his own writings. Like the time he literally shattered an enemy priest to pieces. And it's no secret that snakes and serpents often represent evil and bad in many cultures.
Why is there Cobra there? Well, fucking Commander Cobra
both
there.
sides perpetuate larger-than-life explanations for this myth. I think the truth lies somewhere in the middle. Though I'm hesitant to accept the idea that St. Patrick was out in the field battling druid wizards.
Harry Potter,
hard
whatever.
To believe that this legend is an age-old allegory about Christian suppression of ancient religions. This all just goes to show you the power that myths and legend have on culture, and how something as innocent as a bedtime story can help shape our perception of history itself.
But that wasn't like... So we've already determined that there's actually no singular source of like what is actually the true story or history behind St. Patrick's Day. So it's like, it's this weird thing where it's like, it's pretty much like you get to choose your own meaning. 9 days ago? No, this is an hour and 41 minutes, dude. I do not want to listen to you. 53 minutes? Are you fucking kidding me? History of St. Patrick's Day by an Irishman. Here we go.
So you want to know about St. Paddy's Day?
So you want to know about St. Panty's Day, do ya?
It's totally fucking different back home in Ireland than it is stateside. One of the interesting factors is St. Patrick is the patron saint of Ireland. St. Patrick is the one that was enslaved in Ireland, who was actually originally, I believe, from Scotland. Actually wasn't even born in Ireland. He brought Christianity using the shamrock with regard to the Holy Trinity back in the 5th century. Don't want to really bore the crap out of you, but give you an idea. He died on...
I don't want to bore the crap out of you. I mean, we're kind of there, dude. Save us. Save us. Save us from this boredom, please. And save us from your fucking hideous tie.
March 17, so he was canonized by the Catholic Church in the 1700s. It's kind of ironic that the Scotsman is the patron saint of Ireland, and
Scotsman!
1962 is the first
I thought Scottish and Ireland's Ireland's I thought the Scottish and Irish were somewhat friends. Definitely more so than the Irish and English.
for the St. Patrick's Day parade, which was in New York, but yet Ireland was still under British rule at the particular time. March 17th of 1916, there was like 6,000 volunteers that were marching for their history. It's kind of ironic because a month later you had the 1916 Rising on Easter Sunday, which led to the Irish leaving the English. What was interesting, the Irish government banned the sale of alcohol in Ireland in 1927.
Well, like a prohibition?
Probably the 1970s, where did they allow the actual sale of alcohol. In Ireland, there's 2 days a year that the bars were closed. That's Good Friday and St. Paddy's Day. I say St. Paddy's Day because that's what we call it, and it's kind of like stateside. St. Patrick's Day. You know, they don't even say a shamrock, it's a 4-leaf clover. So if you want to like talk to a real Irish person, it's like, what are you doing on St. Paddy's Day? Whereas you go to an American, it's like, what are you doing on St. Patrick's Day? There's no concept of it, it's just very bizarre. And I think in Ireland it has become a religious holiday. The simplest way to compare what St. Patrick's Day in Ireland is versus what St. Patrick's Day in the States is would be Thanksgiving, where it's a moment of gratitude, it's a moment of fellowship, and it's a moment...
Dude, Americans love to just take other countries like frivolous fucking bullshit and turn it into a holiday as an excuse to drink. They do the same, we do the same fucking thing with Cinco de Mayo. People in Mexico don't give a flying fuck about Cinco de Mayo, but here we are on May 5th putting on our sombreros and drinking tequila. I feel like St. Patty's Day is no different. It's like, it's way more of a big deal for Americans than it is for actual Irish people who are like, hey, this is a day of reverence. And we're like, woo! Woo! Maria says same in Norway. Yeah, just like we're like, what are you doing?
Moment of just being with family. So back home, it's a national holiday. And back home, since the pubs were closed when I was growing up, it was a time when you'd go to mass in the morning. You'd wear a tricolour.
You go to mass in the morning. You wear a tricolour suit. You listen to the bloody fucking bishop fucking talk for hours.
White, and you have your orange. You kind of tone down the orange because you don't want to be known as an orange man. But the whole aspect you wear with the sense
orange
of pride,
man.
it's kind of like a combination of 4th of July mixed with Thanksgiving in that sense of mentality. So that's really all it is. I mean, we don't get flutered and we don't get snockered. I mean, we're all in the
Snockered. Snockered is one of my favorite fucking like terms for getting fucked up. Snockered. Fucking snockered.
9 o'clock because we all have to get up the next day. But again, it's just like a time of family and being proud of your heritage. That's about it.
I mean, my only idea of Irish heritage is fucking Lucky Charms, so... What is this? 2 hours? Oh my god, no, I'm not doing that. An hour? Oh my god, what is this? 2 hours? No, that's like 3 hours. My god. St. Patrick's Day in Ireland. Who are these assholes? What do we got going on here? Fucking Irish jig. Did anybody else have their like grandma like sit them down as a kid and they're like, watch the fucking what was it? River Dance? Like the River Dance production. It's like, watch this whole production. This is what you need to watch. I'm like, I don't know. Like, it's like your parents sitting you down to watch a pre-recorded concert of fucking Yanni. Okay, they're just like running. That's cool, I dig it. I like this. I like this. Tapping is fucking awesome. Get it! Get it? Yeah! Get it, get it, get it, get it, get it! Get it! Fuck yeah! That's hot. That's hot. I think that's attractive. That's hot. That's hot. I like that.
know that I used to be an elementary school teacher. I taught 2nd, 3rd, and 4th grade for 12 years, and then I was a school administrator and curriculum director. And I remember as an elementary school teacher teaching about St. Patrick's Day. And sadly, I will say a lot of people do not know the history, and it is an incredible story and something I think you should be sharing with your kids. So the story starts in Britain. However, Patrick was actually born of Roman parents, and when he was a teenager, this is about 390 AD, Irish raiders came in and kidnapped him along with others and took him to the King of Ireland and sold him as a shepherd slave. Yes, he was originally a slave and he was white. Just something I thought I should add. In a really great book called How the Irish...
Why? 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 Why do you have to add that? Did anybody else catch that? Oh, he was sold into slavery and he was white. I thought I should mention that. Why? Why, honey? You wanna fucking tell the class why you had to mention that? You wanna tell the class why you had to make that specific point? Because you could have totally not. You could have totally just, like, carried on with that. Racism. Thanks for slapping black people in the face there. Thanks, honey.
Civilization. Thomas Cahill writes that conditions of these shepherd slaves were actually very harsh. I mean, obviously he was taken from his family, so he was lonely, he was isolated. Patrick was actually raised by Christian parents. However, he didn't have a relationship with God. And so during this time in his late teenage years, and I don't know how long he was a slave for, however, he developed a relationship with God and became a very strong Christian. By the time...
So did everybody else who was in slavery. Funny how you're in slavery and suddenly you're presented this whole fucking, like, concept of God here to come and save you. Need I fucking talk about, like, the fucking, like, massive amounts of black people who are indoctrinated with religion as an excuse to enslave them? Ah! 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 Lady, help you make sense of this.
He returned back to England.
Dude, she really could have talked about this without doing that. That was weird. I don't like that. That's not okay. She could have not mentioned that and then made, like, a perfectly clear point. But no. Hey, let's just do a little slap to black people right there. Thank you. Fucking unappreciated. Thank you.
He decided to become a priest, and then he eventually became a bishop. And basically 30 years after he returned home, he felt God prompting him to go back to Ireland and basically evangelize about the Trinity and use the shamrock to demonstrate the Trinity, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Then if the four-leaf clover is like the most luckiest thing, then it's not a Trinity and there's a fourth concept there. So what?
He helped lead many others to Christ. And so the St. Patrick story, even though a lot of our kids in schools today are just coloring rainbows and talking about the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow and so forth, you know, just like a lot of other Christian holidays, it's become very secular. This is the true story of St. Patrick. It's actually a Christian holiday and something that I love to celebrate. I think the best part of the St. Patrick's Day story is the fact that during his...
Is the fact that I said very specifically that this was a white slave. Lady, sit down.
Season of suffering and isolation, that is when St. Patrick grew in his faith, in his relationship with the Lord, and that is when the seeds were planted for his entire purpose. And so I think today is a great day to reflect on our seasons of suffering and how God is actually walking us through the painful times. He's growing us. He's calling us to be closer to him.
Lady, I think you need to be focusing on the fact that you had to go way out of your way to say this is a white slave. I did not like that comment. That's fucking bullshit. And no. No to you. No to your bullshit. No to all of that. Like, that was bullshit. Like, that was... That was fucking uncalled for.
Have you got your green outfit ready? Or are you up for getting pinched? Because St. Patrick's Day will be here before you know it. Modern St. Patrick's Day is all
St.
about
Patty's Day!
Drinking plenty of green cocktails and checking out the year's
No.
most...
Green cocktails? What was that? I'm sorry. What? What is that? Is that mint? Is that mint? If that's mint, I'm going to be very upset.
and checking out the year's most uproarious parades. But as it turns out, the history of St. Patrick's Day isn't rooted in the 24 hours of green-tinged shamrock waving revelry we know it for today. Of course, now you might guess it's in honor of St. Patrick, the patron saint of Ireland. But did you know he wasn't actually Irish?
He wasn't Irish, he was Scottish.
There's a whole lot more to St. Patrick's Day.
He was Scottish, laddie.
Stick around, like,
he was a
subscribe, and
Scottish
enjoy this
bitch.
video. St. Patrick was a 5th century Romano-British Christian missionary and bishop
Or
in Ireland.
British, sorry,
Much
whatever.
of what is known about St. Patrick comes from the Declaration, which was allegedly written by Patrick himself. It is believed he was born in Roman Britain in the 4th century into a wealthy Romano-British family. His father was a deacon and his grandfather was a priest
That was
in
weird.
the Christian church. According to the Declaration, at the age of 16, he was kidnapped by Irish raiders and taken as a slave to Gaelic Ireland. During the 6 years working in Ireland as a shepherd, he somehow found his way.
Mint is forever banished from this channel. Any mention of mint, I don't want anything to do with you.
To God. The Declaration says that God told Patrick to flee to the coast, where a ship would be waiting to take him home. After making his way home, Patrick went on to become a priest. According to tradition, Patrick returned to Ireland to convert the pagan Irish to Christianity. He spent many years evangelizing in the north half of Ireland and converted thousands of the Celtic Irish folk. Patrick...
Don't you say the word, Cassidy! Don't you say the word, don't!
His efforts were eventually turned into an allegory in which he drove snakes out of Ireland. But the island nation was actually never home to any snakes. The banishing of the snakes was really a metaphor for the eradication of pagan ideology from Ireland and the triumph of Christianity. Within 200 years of Patrick's arrival, Ireland was completely Christianized. And in the centuries following Patrick's death, the myths and folktales surrounding his life became ever more ingrained in the Irish culture. Perhaps the most well-known legend of St. Patrick is that
The chat is so funny right now.
Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, using
Honest,
the 3
I
leaves
love the
of a
chat.
native
Y'all are so
Irish
funny.
clover, the shamrock, which actually brings us to why we wear green on St. Patrick's Day. On St. Patrick's
Because of
Day,
the
it's customary to wear
leprechaun.
shamrocks, green clothing, or green accessories. The story of St. Patrick using the shamrock to explain the Holy Trinity.
I'm the leprechaun. The leprechaun. Okay, let's see. I gotta do this. Sorry. I don't care if I get demonetized.
I have got to get you to LA. You are buried.
That movie, The Leprechaun, remember with that little guy who goes, I'm the leprechaun. Garth, I'm the leprechaun. I'm the leprechaun. Stop it, all right? Don't try and steal me, pot of gold.
Because they're fun. If I wanted a guy that was all drive and ambition, I could have stayed in Hong Kong. Back that guy's like,
I'm the leprechaun. You're trying to steal me pot of gold. I'm the leprechaun.
they're really sharp.
Stop it, leprechaun man. Garth, chill. The common people. We'll go Bob Sister to you, sweetie. I'm not. Sweetie. Stop it. Sweetie. Stop it. Come on.
Sweetie, come on, sweetie.
Pixie dust. Pixie dust.
Pixie dust.
me, the leprechaun.
The leprechaun.
Oh yeah, these guys, really sharp.
The leprechaun. Because I'm the leprechaun.
I love that shit. That's what I think of when I think of today. It's just like, I'm the leprechaun. Alright, let's wrap it up.
First appeared in writing in 1726, though it may be older. In pagan Ireland, 3 was a significant number, and the pagan Irish already had many triple deities, which may have aided St. Patrick in his evangelization efforts. Additionally, in efforts to convert more pagans in various lands, the church adopted pagan customs and traditions into Christianity. An Irish tradition that might have existed among the Celtic people was the belief that the 4-leaf clovers were destined for good luck, as each leaf in the clover symbolized good omens. Like the shamrock or clover, many Celtic traditions were adopted into Christianity over the years. The 4-leaf clover meaning became intertwined so that the first 3 leaves came to represent faith, hope, and love, and the 4th leaf, God's grace or luck.
This is just sad. This is just like, let's take a perfectly good culture and ruin it with Christianity. That's like the whole world story. Here's a perfectly good culture with a good, like, ground in, like, ideology, but let's just ruin it with Christianity. Like, oh, I see you're enjoying your Christless fucking ideology there. Allow me to fucking torture it to death. Mint!
However, wearing green clothes in the US on St. Patrick's Day parades and celebrations only became common in the 1800s. It was a symbol that Irish Americans used to honor their heritage, and it seems to have stuck all these years later. Initially, Ireland wasn't always associated with the color green, even though its lush hills would suggest otherwise. The Emerald Isle was actually
Priceless!
instead.
Like Chrysler, you know, but Christless.
When Henry VIII claimed himself to be King of Ireland in the 1500s, his flag was blue, meaning that Ireland was associated with the color. However, green was later used as the color of the flag in the Great Irish Rebellion in 1641, when the Irish fought against the English, and over the years, green became a national symbol of pride for Ireland. Now, what about leprechauns?
The leprechaun!
I've seen a couple walking the streets
I'm
on
the
St. Patrick's Day.
leprechaun!
But what do they really have to do with St. Patrick's Day? The original Irish name for these figures of folklore is Loberson, meaning small-bodied fellow. Beliefs in
why?
leprechauns probably stem from Celtic beliefs in fairies, tiny men and women who could use their magical powers to serve good or evil. In Celtic folk tales, leprechauns were cranky souls responsible for mending the shoes of other fairies. Though only minor figures in Celtic folklore, leprechauns were known for their trickery, which they often used to protect their much-fabled treasure, their pot of gold. Leprechauns have their own holiday on May 13th, but were adopted into St. Patrick's Day with many dressing up as the woolly fairies. According to Irish folklore,
I'm sorry.
leprechauns wore green, and if anyone
Freddy
else
got
wore
fingered?
the color,
What?
that individual would be invisible to leprechauns. Leprechauns are ornery sorts who like to pinch anyone they can see. Therefore, by wearing green clothing, a person is sure to avoid a painful tweet. It's not only the leprechauns who might do the pinching. Celebrants are inclined to pinch people who don't wear green as a reminder that leprechauns
Oh, I
can
hate
sneak up on you
that.
at any time.
Okay, I gotta say, I hate that. Okay, so as an American, you like you celebrate this holiday where it's like if you don't wear green, then somebody can pinch you. And I think that's like one of the worst things ever, and I hated it back then because it's like if I don't do a certain thing, then that gives you the opportunity and the go-ahead to do something to me that I find uncomfortable. So I always fucking hated it as a little kid when I'm like, if I don't wear green, other little kids are like, I'm gonna pinch you. I'm gonna pinch you. Like, and then they pinch me and I'm like, fucking leave me alone. I don't give a shit. Like, I don't give a shit. Leave me alone. It's just some weird, like, invitation to invite other kids to, like, hurt you. So fucking weird. And did any of you have parents or teachers that did that thing where they take their hand and they press it in like green ink? They can make like little tiny footprints. And it's like, oh, this is the leprechaun's footprints, and what's it leaving? There's a pot of gold somewhere. Find it, like, somewhere. And then you find, like, chocolate gold coins at the end of, like, the fucking leprechaun footprints. It's such a weird thing. It's such a, like, I never liked it. And you know what? I'll tell you what. Because my birthday is on the 23rd, I always, as a kid, didn't give a shit about St. Patrick's Day. I'm like, this is the bastard holiday before my birthday. My birthday is the real holiday of March. So fuck you. Cassie says, but the fake leprechaun thing was fun as a kid. Until we got in trouble for it.
So when was the first St. Patrick's Day celebrated? Since around the 9th or 10th century, people in Ireland have been observing the Roman Catholic feast of St. Patrick on March 17th. The first St. Patrick's Day parade took place not in Ireland, but in America. Records show that a St. Patrick's Day parade was held on March 17, 1601, in a Spanish colony in what is now St. Augustine, Florida. The parade and a St. Patrick's Day celebration a year earlier were organized by the Spanish colony's Irish vicar, Ricardo Arthur. More than a century later,
Cassie's birthday was on the 4th. Mine's on the 23rd. We battle it out to the death every year. Me and Cassie have a battle to the death every year!
Irish soldiers serving the English military marched in New York City on March 17, 1772 to honor the Irish patron saint. The feast day of St. Patrick was first established as a modest religious holiday, as it fell right in the middle of the Christian season of Lent, and people began using it as a reason or excuse to celebrate, dance, drink, and feast on the traditional meal of Irish bacon and cabbage, and take a break from the restraints and abstinence of eating meat in the period leading to Easter. However, it didn't actually become a public holiday in Ireland until 1904.
This is boring.
Over the next 35 years, Irish patriotism among American immigrants
This is boring.
Up until the mid-19th century.
This is boring. This is, like, literally boring. This lady is boring me. Let's try this.
Hey everyone, this is your 5-minute daily devotional. Today's scripture verses are coming from Matthew chapter 5.
Scripture verses!
They read as follows. You have heard that it was said, love your neighbor and hate your enemy.
I didn't hear that at all. You said that. I didn't hear that.
But I tell you, love your enemies and
This is churchy already.
pray for those who persecute you, that you may be children of your Father in heaven. He causes his sun to rise on the evil and the good, and sends rain on the righteous and the unrighteous.
Wait, why is the righteous and the unrighteous, like, getting rain? Shouldn't the righteous be protected? I'm confused.
Happy St. Patrick's Day, a day that many nations around the world celebrate with drinking,
Lady, you are too happy for what you're talking about.
green attire, and the three-leaf clover. If I'll admit it, I've never been one for St. Patrick's Day. I apologize to those who celebrate St. Patrick's Day, but I think it was because I never really understood the holiday. But I understand it now, and I'm all for it. There's a lot about St. Patrick that I think we don't know. A lot of us don't know. First and foremost is that he wasn't actually Irish. I think that most of us assumed he was Irish because he is celebrated as the patron saint of Ireland. He was venerated and celebrated there. But he was actually English when he was about 14 years old. It's reported that
Oh no, he
Irish
was
traders
English.
came to his home,
But then some people were saying he was Scottish.
kidnapped him, took him back to their land, and forced him into slavery. He was supposedly born into a well-means or comfortable family in which his father was a
At least she didn't say he was a white slave.
deacon. Maybe purportedly for financial reasons instead of religious reasons, but when Patrick was kidnapped to slavery, he was a slave as a slave shepherd, and he tended and herded sheep. It was during that time that he came into a personal relationship with the Lord. He was in captivity.
Right? Those gotta be veneers.
For about 6 years when it was reported that God came to him in a dream and told him how to escape, that it was time to go. He supposedly walked 200 miles to the Irish coast where some people allowed him to ship back with them to Britain where he was reunited with his family.
Is it me, or did she have like a little tiny, like this is like 2 balls and a dick here on her neck. Does anybody see this here? This is like a penis, but it's like a penis turd. It's like a turd, but a penis with balls. It's like a turd with balls. I don't know. This necklace does not look good. It just looks like some weird penis turd thing. I don't know.
But that's just the beginning. God speaks to him in another dream and tells him to go back to Ireland and to bring the gospel of Jesus Christ to them. Patrick enrolls in school, becomes ordained, and he heads back to Ireland, most likely to start ministering in a smaller church and evangelizing others. He ends up preaching and converting thousands of people to the Lord, even converting the Druids and even using the 3-sided shamrock to explain the Holy Trinity. He spends about 40 years there, and he dies on March 17, 461, which is why we celebrate him today. Do you know what I like about St. Patrick? He must have had no guile, no hard feelings, no resentment, no unforgiveness in his heart to do what...
Because if there's anything we want to do, folks, if you are a believing fucking Christ-loving person, it's that you do not get angry or mad at anything. If somebody slaps you, turn the other cheek. Let them slap the other side. Who gives a shit? Who cares? Don't stand up for yourself. Just smile and sit in your pink shirt with your fucking turd necklace.
He did. He literally was kidnapped from his home, taken from his land, taken from his family, taken from his culture, and forced into slavery by these people for years. It was the Lord who rescued him, who showed him how to escape. Many people would have used everything that he went through as an excuse to hate an entire group of people, but not him. His relationship with the Lord must have been so strong. I mean, he willingly went back to school to be ordained, to be...
I like her lip gloss, though. The lips are... lips look good.
Prepared to go straight back to them. And it makes sense that the Lord would call him because he knew the land, he knew the culture, he knew the customs, he knew the language. What the enemy meant for evil and kidnapping him and forcing him into slavery, God turned around for good.
I really don't... What is that necklace, though? It's bugging me.
Was willing to be used. Our mercy day reminds us to love our enemies, to pray for those who persecute us, who despitefully use us. And I wonder if the enemy raises up enemies in our lives because those are actually the very people that God wants us to minister to spread the gospel to help, to encourage. When we face enemies, let's remember St. Patrick. Let's remember that this St. Patrick willingly went right back into the enemy's camp and loved them and ministered to them and brought them to
I have had enough of that.
The rest of his life with them. Let's remember to...
Look, everybody who talks about the real meaning of St. Patrick's gives their own ideology, influence of said explanation. And as you can see from what a lot of people have said, it's just the real history of St. Patrick's Day is pretty much luck in itself because, you know, people just don't really know. There's this concept of driving out snakes, things like that. You know, there is this, which is Happy All Snakes Day. To some, today may be a day dedicated to St. Patrick. To others, this is a day about liberation and freedom from spiritual oppression and saying you're still here no matter who tries to drive you out. Whether you believe in the story of Saint Pat or believe that you're still a snake that will not be forced into hiding, let today be a day to truly remember your roots, to thank your ancestors for all they provided you with, and to be ever so grateful for this gift of life. Snake symbolism includes transformation, rebirth, knowledge, the unknown, Kundalini energy, release, shedding one's skin, and adaptability. And hold on. This is sort of the symbology of the snake that resonates most with me. This is the symbology. I mean, I love reptiles by themselves. They don't have to have any ideology or symbology to them. Like, I love snakes. I think they're really cool animals. And I think they're severely misunderstood. And I think if people gave them a little bit more time and attention, they'll find that they're very, I don't know, like pretty cuddly, like loving creatures just as much as dogs and cats, honestly. Like, they just love a safe, warm hole to like live in, and they just want some yummy food, and they want to be left alone. So for that to go into a snake being representative of transformation, because a snake sheds its skin, so it transforms, rebirth, knowledge, the unknown. There's the whole symbology with the Ouroboros, the snake that eats itself. That's a symbol of infinity. There's so much about a snake that I think is very noble, very respectable. Yeah. I don't know what else I need to add to that. This has kind of been a very interesting Friday night, just kind of sleuthing and poking around and kind of ranting about like how I feel about rattlesnakes versus like how this driving out of snakes like means, symbolically on that level. I mean, I think as Hyperians, we can already gather if a snake is very symbolic of like transformation, rebirth, knowledge, the unknown, Kundalini energy, release, shedding one's skin, adaptability. I can't say that word. Adaptability. There we go. Evolution, knowledge. The snake is very noble, and it's nothing to be driven out. So I hope that makes sense. And I hope also, I guess I have to say, I hope all of you like take a look at that Sweetwater, Texas rattlesnake roundup, and if there's any sort of petition to sign up for, I guess I should have looked that up. I honestly didn't prepare or expect to go on this kind of rant about rattlesnakes, but like the rattlesnake roundup like really bugs me. So anyways, hey, all of you are amazing. Really appreciate you coming out and like hanging out with me on Friday night. And yeah, let's say goodbye. So good night, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. Lee, Hyperion Frequency, thank you so much for coming tonight, bud. So good to see you. I always appreciate your support. Maria Seedling, always good to see you. Thank you so much for your your support. Mistress Angelica. Cassie, our moderator for tonight. Thank you so much for coming, Rebecca Blanchard. Cassidy, our royal lurker, Renaissance Fairy, thank you so much for coming. Tyler, good to see you. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you all so much for coming with us and joining us today. Next live stream will be Wednesday for Worldview Wednesday. We will get back to... I'm so glad my internet was on. My power was off last week and it was so traumatic, and I'm so glad it's on this week. The weather is like taming down and there's not so much wind and shit that's going on, causing my power to go out and internet to go out and things like that. So Imaginista, thank you so much for coming. Fachita, thank you so much for coming. Thank you everybody. Crystal Mason, thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate your support and your attendance. And what a weird subject, honestly. I'm like, this is kind of like all over the place. I didn't even know where on earth I was going with this. And yes, rattlesnakes in the chat for the day. Yay! Thank you so much all for coming. Really appreciate it. Hey, I'll see you next Wednesday. Looking forward to Worldview Wednesday. There's a lot of things I want to bring up, so it'll be very interesting. But anyways, good night everybody. Have a good weekend. Take care. Take a load off. Like, relax a little bit. Take some time for yourself, and we'll see you Wednesday, okay? Take care, dear monads. Ad Astra.